Networking Consulting on behalf of Dell. I'd like to thank you for joining us today and for your time. Our agenda for this evening is to discuss how to optimize IT and data center programs in order to delay or avoid costly data center construction, future-proof the network, leverage current investments, accelerate time to value, and last, match your technical and business requirements. We'll also showcase Dell's expertise in planning, designing, and implementing IT and data center programs. I would like to welcome you once again to this forum and wish you a productive time this evening. Our first speaker for this evening is Dr. Hemanth Kumar. He will set the context for this forum. A short introduction about Dr. Hemanth Kumar. Dr. Hemanth Kumar is the Director for Infrastructure and Cloud Computing at Dell Services in India, who leads the team responsible for taking Dell services and solutions offerings to our customers. We'll welcome him with a huge round of applause, Dr. Hemanth Kumar.
Friends, a very warm welcome. Good evening from Dell side. And I was just speaking to my colleague about this evening, and he just reminded me that it's a Friday evening. So for all those who've come here, come on time, I can promise you one thing, that we will have a shorter, sharper, crisper presentations and a longer delayed drinks and dinner session. So we will really make your Friday evening worthwhile. So you'll really see us not sort of bore you to death here by presentation, but we would rather you mingle with our experts who we have got from here and from our APJ region, and we'll make sure that you have a good mix of productive use of time as well as what a Friday evening deserves. So. I represent the infrastructure and cloud computing services for Dell, and I'm going to set a quick context with what Dell Services is about, and from there we're going to hear from our experts around data center build-outs and data center consulting, and our colleague will give you a quick overview of Dell's networking consulting practice. Now, if you look at Dell Services construct, Dell today roughly employs 100,000 plus people, of which good 50% of which is 50,000 associates worldwide, actually represent Dell Services. So it's a pretty large practice that we run globally in several countries across 5 continents, and these are roughly the 4 pillars under which we structure our services. Starting with support and deployment, there is infrastructure and cloud computing, there is security, and there is applications and BPO. So these are the 4 key divisions that Dell Services has. Now, Dell, as you know, has been a leader in hardware. So starting with client products, desktops, notebooks, laptops, servers, storage, network, we have a huge portfolio. And this division is the one which really helps our customers worldwide take care of support, deployment, implementation of Dell hardware. And we have won several industry awards, and I'm sure most of you would have experienced exceptional Dell services around support and deployment. And one thing that I would want to point out here in terms of Pro Support Plus, in most environments what happens is that support to infrastructure is reactive. Any of you who run IT teams or are system admins would usually find out that a server has failed or storage box has failed because the CPU utilization was high, or a fan wasn't working, or the storage capacity had run out, and then you would call Dell call center, you contact an engineer, he's going to come look at do the needful. What we offer in Pro Support Plus is really a proactive monitoring and management of your environment. So agents on your hardware we are remotely monitored by a dedicated team, and that dedicated team is actually getting alerts worldwide from all our hardware. So it can actually predict that what type of hardware, what type of parts are more susceptible to wear and tear at what usage times. And against that huge background database, they are constantly able to see and proactively monitor our environment to see what is likely to happen. And before you know, if they see that something is likely to fail, they would log a call. Before you know, there will be an engineer who will go and replace the part or do the necessary fix. So what that means is that you do not have downtime, or you do not have a problem and a remedy afterwards. You have a proactive monitoring and a service that will actually fix it before the problem becomes, a big impediment. In terms of infrastructure and cloud computing, there are 5 broad areas that we look at. Starting with the client, platform optimization. These days, virtualization both on the client as well as the server-side infrastructure is one of the most pervasive technologies, and Dell offers an entire stack of virtual desktop infrastructure with our hardware, software, and services. Data center consulting is what we are gathered here to really discuss about, and today we're going to focus more on the data center facilities consulting rather than the IT insight, which gets represented in under the platform optimization and unified communication and collaboration practices. UCNC, most of you know, so all the productivity tools like SharePoint or Link Voice, IP telephony, all that productivity suite is what we manage and consult around and deploy around unified communication and collaboration. Network consulting, again, we have a very large portfolio of active infrastructure products in terms of our Force 10 and Power Connect series. So consulting around that component, as well as when you are building a facility, both the data center as well as your offices and factories, the passive cabling or the structured cabling part of it, whether for an office, factory, or for a research lab, is what we undertake, and you're going to hear from our colleague on this. And finally, after we have provided the infrastructure, deployed it, done the consulting for it, Dell is a worldwide leader in IT outsourcing as well. In India, we have several very large customers which we manage both on the desk side as well as the data center side. Both on-site and off-site models exist where we take care of the entire IT outsourcing for several very large famous names. So that really is an overview of infrastructure and cloud computing. The approach that we would say this differentiates us is that our consulting practice is not something which is very prescriptive. That okay, this is what you should do. Our approach really is a more consultative approach. We typically would engage with you and do a very detailed workshop with your IT team and our experts sitting together to understand what is your current infrastructure landscape or application landscape, and we really try to understand what is it that you are trying to do, where are you headed, what problem you are trying to do. So let's say you want a point solution for mobility, or let's say you want a SharePoint migration. It exists within a context. So our experts really try to understand what is the larger context in which you are trying to solve this problem. And basis that, we would do a detailed assessment. We use various tools both for like data center or network assessment or your unified communication collaboration suite. And then we jointly agree on a design which is the most effective for your context. And then we would do the implementation. And as I said, and then we manage and support whether on the hardware side or on an IT outsourcing side. So that really is the consultative approach that we take at Dell Services. These are some of the names. There's a very large list. This is just a snapshot of some of the existing Dell Services customers. And as you can see, there are some industry-leading names, companies which are IT companies themselves. And we are providing data center consulting services to them, network consulting services to them, unified collaboration, communication, platform optimization, private cloud implementation. These are some of the customers that currently are our esteemed customers here in India. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Hemanth.